So, like I say, I mean, I had spent lots of time, with like the engines. People couldn't afford my engines because it takes thousands of hours to get enough metal just to make one of those engines. Not to mention, it took 25 years or 5 years just to get the metallurgy right, so steel or metal didn't just flake. Like I said, metal, if it got any moisture at all, even the inside moisture, would just cause it to just turn into flake. You can go and look at my things, and if they're anywhere near even a little bit of salt water, like they just turn to flake. Like in like 5 years, like you can take one of the old metal bars and just put it down, and in 5 years or so, or 10 years, it'll just be flakes. No water, no nothing. It'll just turn to flake. It just oxidizes. So getting that steel iron stabilized was like this 3 or 4 year of test and test and test and test and test. And then we got it stabilized. But then any presence of salt, and so it's back to the basics, basically. We could get it stabilized, but then anytime there's salt around, it just rusts. So then we finally get steel that is rust proof in salt water. You can just dip it in salt water and it'll just sit there, and it'll just get a little bit of oxidation on the surface. And that takes like 5 or 6 years, and that's like hours and test after test. I think it's like 150 or 1,000 different steel recipes to finally get stable, what they call stable iron, or stable steel, which means basically you can put it in salt water, it won't rust. You can put it in almost any environment, even pour salt on it, and it won't rust, which is what my ships are made of, which is basically stable steel or highest quality steel or iron, basically. So it won't oxidize. You can put it in the ocean for 500 years and it'll get some little rust on it, but nothing real. Like salt water is salt water doesn't affect it. So basically, and that took like 25 to 50 years. So I'm doing all this stuff and I'm spending all this money, and I have all these research teams, basically. And we come across some clones, and basically JFK and Nixon, and basically he doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, he's elected president. As far as he's concerned, it's like toys. He's like a kid in a candy store. Like, boom, he's just like, like a kid at a candy store. He just doesn't really care. He didn't invent anything. They didn't pay for anything. They're just on this like e-ticket ride of basically elected leader. Which is basically, like I say, me and my people have spent 10 generations, 20 generations. We're like 2,500 generations down the road of me inventing and me paying for all this stuff and me leading and farming and clothing, and we've been doing this thing, inventing transmissions, getting the transmissions so they don't just fall apart, getting the titanium alloy. We've been doing all this thing. We want to go to space, we want to do all this stuff, and we happen upon basically JFK and Nixon. And he's just like, he's going to run around. He runs around. He kills as many people as he can. Gets as much pussy as he can, just like 5 or 6 of the others. Like, they don't care. To them, it's just like freedom play zone. They just do the news stories, do this, do that, fake this, fake that, say they're going to do this, but then do that. It's just like grab to them. They don't care. It matters not to them. So, as far as they're concerned, they were just they woke up one day and said, who gives a fuck? So, hail to the king, but I'm on like 2,500th generation of basically being Lord and King of not only Earth, but 400 other planets. So I very much do care about my planet, and I very much do care about my people. And like, I just do honesty and news reporting and films and all that stuff. And besides, I invented advertising. I invented this. I invented that. And I'm just trying, I'm going, we're going places. I'm going places, this planet, technology, computers, like, that's what I'm doing. I name a country, America, Germany, I have all these groups, like millions of people who have been living their lives and doing this great thing. And we happen upon basically JFK. He wants to see how many people he can get lit with a flamethrower. Because, as far as he's concerned, there's 5 million people here, and who gives a fuck? He doesn't give a fuck. Watch them scream and burn. And then he just says, oh, well, they were blah, blah. To the rest of the world. So he's a problem for me. He's a problem for every person that they burned. Just like the self-proclaimed God and King of black men. And like I say, all this water on this planet is mine. I created it, and I invented for it, and I own the companies, and I didn't want it fucked up. I didn't want my beautiful planet ruined. All this air that we have around here, this is like my masterpiece solar system. Like my show and tell of the galaxy. This is like my feast de resistance of everything. And so I care about this place. And a lot of other people care about this place. But Nixon and JFK, they didn't give a fuck. As far as they're concerned, they just got a bunch of people, with guns and called them Secret Service, and they drove from town to town and they raped little kids. And so my Secret Service, or at least the people that were supposed to be the Secret Service, they know about what's going on. And some of them even get in the way, but then they get killed. And a lot of other stuff is going on. And it's just it's because, as far as JFK is concerned, he's elected leader, and that's basically God, as far as he's concerned. And a couple other leaders that are feeling the same way. And like I say, that's a problem. That becomes a real big problem. And I don't even know about them at first. I don't know about them for 50 years. But then I find out, and then I pay a great amount of money to figure out exactly who it was, exactly where they were, and exactly how to deal with them. Which we do, and I torture the shit out of him. Just like Rodney. As far as he's concerned, he just walked into a $1 million lottery. He has no respect for the people. He has no respect for the surroundings. As far as he's concerned, deny and lie. That's what sums it up. And maybe I have 5 or 6 other ships and other people that felt the same way. So that's a problem for me, and that's a problem for anyone that gets in their way or gets near them. So, there's all this stuff going on, and like I say, I own all these ships, and I own the whole fleet, so no matter what, they're affecting me and my thing. So, so they, and that's why Rodney's deny, 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 and that's why all the senators are lie, lie, lie. They're seeing how far they can get, and they don't understand that death is not a problem for someone like me. And some of them actually do know that death isn't a problem for me, and they're actively trying to kill me or get rid of me. And that's not really going to work out. It didn't work out for them. They got tortured, like I said. They thought they were Rosemary's Baby by the time I was done with them. And proud of it. Yeah. We had to bring them back to sanity a couple times. And then we just took them back. And back. And back. And back. And back and forth. And we found out exactly how much you can actually do to a person. So anyway, so that was JFK. And probably Nixon. And a few others. That very much did get my way. So, but then again, they had it coming, like they say. They had killed a lot of people. So, anyway, and nobody even knew about it for years. For probably 100 years or whatever years, and then somebody found out.